We've had tremendous success. You'll see some of the success stories I'll put up a little later in our broadcast tonight. But, like anything else that works, you got to follow a system. As my father used to say, 99% loyalty is 100% disloyalty. So if you don't follow the plan the way we have it laid out, you're probably not going to have much success. You have to follow the blueprint. You got to do what's right. If you have a blueprint for a house, you're building a house and you decide to do something different, well, the door is probably not going to shut, the window's not going to close, and the house is going to be tilted. So you got to follow the plan. We've laid out a plan that's very easy to do. I've had hundreds of people go through this program before you guys arrived here tonight, and everyone is successful. It's successful because why? Because we have the right program, we're utilizing the right products, we have the right system, and we have the right people facilitating it. I can't think of 5 better entities to enter into this program tonight than Susan and I, Dr. Garrow. We have the benefit of Jen Wiederstrom and her expertise in putting this program together, and we're backed by a solid company that makes great products in ID Life. So just sit back and listen. I will open the chat box at the end. And just so you're aware of this, Susan and I have provided a private Facebook page that you're going to have access to, okay? And every night after we finish one of these webinars, I go into the private Facebook page and I answer questions as long as I have to. I'm the last person to leave the room, so to say, because our success is truly built on your success. And it's very, very important that you are successful in this program, because why else would you waste your time? A lot of people are entering this room tonight that have tried other things and they've worked for short term, but nothing for the long term. So we want to give you long-term success. We want to design a lifestyle that is very easy to follow, something that's very duplicatable. That's the key to success in any business, is the process of duplication. Susan can obviously hear me because she hasn't run back in the room, and it is 7:30. And I'm going to give everyone a few more minutes just to enter into the room. I'm just going to kind of reach back and check out my chat box to make sure. Okay, nobody's chatted to me yet, so that's a good sign. I'll chat to you guys. How about we do that? I'll chat to you guys and say, welcome to our program. There you go. Send that out to everybody. Go back into my, go back there. Everyone can see that. I know Susan's going to come in and give me a thumbs up, make sure everybody can see the page. I'm waiting for a few more attendees to join in. Again, the way that I have it set up right now, I can't see the chat box, but I will check the chat box at the end of the presentation tonight. So if you drop a question in there, I'll go back and answer questions at the end. Susan's giving me a thumbs up. All right, so let's just start talking a little bit about what we want to accomplish. Lay some ground rules here. Just kind of sit back and listen. You don't have to take notes. Everyone's going to get this delivered to their inbox tomorrow, so you can listen to it over and over again. If I say something that doesn't make sense, you can ask me questions. I check my ego at the door when I come in. I'm here to help you. Again, our success is based on your success. 5 components of this program that I want you to keep in mind as we talk through this is, in this descending order: sleep. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 is hydration. Number 3 is nutrition. Number 4 is stress management. And number 5 is exercise. And it's in that order, because obviously if you're not sleeping, nothing else works. If you're not hydrated, nothing else works. If you're not putting the right nutrition in your body, it doesn't matter how much exercise you do, you're going to fail. Something's going to break down. You're either going to overtrain and the system's going to start to break down, or you're going to out-eat a good exercise program and nothing's going to change. Stress management, what I mean by stress management is more making sure you're sleeping so your hormones are in balance, making sure you're eating properly, your sugar's in balance. And again, exercise will affect both hormones and sugar balance. So those are the stress things we'll talk about. We'll spend time over the next couple of weeks talking about things like cortisol. Cortisol is not your enemy. The cortisol actually does something very, very important in the body. It allows you to sleep, and it breaks down sugar in the liver through a process called gluconeogenesis. I'll talk more about that as we go on. I don't want you to get thrown off by big words. If I throw a big word out like that, I'll always define it. Gluconeogenesis, if you break it down, break it into gluco, neo, and genesis, it's creation of new sugar. And it happens in the liver. Your body has the ability to break protein down and convert it to sugar to feed your brain and nervous system. Couple things you need to know is that your brain operates on sugar or glucose. Your brain and nervous system uses that as a primary fuel source, and your heart uses fat as a primary fuel source. Your heart is 100% oxidative. So isn't that nice? We have two major organ systems in the body, and neither one of them are fighting for a fuel source. They all have their own fuel source. Okay, Susan's giving me a thumbs up, said the room is filled, so let's move on. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to get you to escape the diet trap. Exercising a whole lot and not eating a lot is really a system for disaster. So that's where a lot of people who come to us, that's where they start to run in. They over-exercise and they under-eat. We need to strike a balance there. So what are the 3 key points we're going to learn tonight? We're going to talk about the hormonal effect of food. We're going to talk about hormonal balancing, walking and sleep and resting, and the hormonal effect of intense exercise. Okay, anyone who trains with me knows that we want to get a significant hormonal shift when we're exercising, and I'll get into that in a little bit more detail. Okay, so what can I expect from our webinar tonight? Well, we're going to talk a little bit about the difference between fat loss and weight loss. There is a difference there. We're going to focus on energy, and we're also going to teach you how to reduce your hunger and your cravings. And just so you know, most of my clients run into trouble with cravings. They usually don't overeat because they're hungry. They usually overeat inappropriate things because they have high cravings. The reason they stop exercising is because they have low energy. So we have to make sure, we're going to talk about an acronym called HEC, Hunger, Energy, and Cravings, later tonight, and we'll talk about it over the next month. And we're going to make sure that your HEC is in check. Your hunger and your cravings are low and you have high energy. And that's how you're going to have success in this program. So what typically is taught in the diet industry? We're told to eat less and exercise more, and that's how we lose weight. Well, that's not necessarily really how it works, and it doesn't work long term, and I'll kind of prove it to you in a few minutes here. Here's a quick chart that we use, and again, you're going to be able to look at this chart, stop the broadcast and look at it a little more closely. You're going to see 2 blue fields and 2 red fields. The red fields are more like red flags. That's where people go wrong. The blue fields is what actually works for us. So in an eat more, exercise less world, well, if you're eating more and you're exercising less, can you gain some muscle? Yeah, but you're going to substantially increase your stored body fat. And what happens when you eat less and exercise more? Well, you do lose some body fat, but you also start to lose muscle, and you also start to destroy your metabolism in the process. I have a couple slides that'll talk to that in a lot more detail. So what are we going to focus on? Well, initially, we're really going to focus more on an eat less, exercise less model. Now, for some of those people out there who don't exercise at all, you can't exercise less than you already are because you're not exercising. But for some of those people out there who said, January 1st, I'm going to cut back to a 500-calorie diet, I'm going to go out and run 5 miles a day, that's a recipe for disaster. So hopefully by the end of this talk tonight, you'll see that I have a better system. And again, if you eat more and exercise more, well, that works. That's your traditional athlete. Whether you be a triathlete or a football player, basketball player, in order to maintain and build the amount of lean mass you have to eat enough fuel. So you can't build a 10-story building without 10 stories worth of bricks. That's the one thing I'll leave you with that. Okay, so people say, Mike, you don't understand. In this program, I want to lose fat and gain muscle at the same time. Well, that is a myth, and that's also known as metabolic multitasking. It doesn't exist. Your body wants to do one more than the other. So our goal, because of the nature of our program here, is we're going to really focus on losing stored body fat and maintaining or slightly building our amount of lean mass. Some people have such low lean mass that you're going to build lean mass in this program. Other people, well, take a guy maybe sitting out there who's 275 pounds and his goal is to lose stored body fat. He may lose a little bit of lean mass in this process because of the dietary changes. Not to worry. It's not going to be dramatic. You're going to lose a lot more stored body fat in this program than you are lean mass. But just realize that you can't do both at the same time. Now, a lot of people talk about, well, it's all about calories in, calories out, and that's really not true. Okay, your brain is a thermostat, not a bank. Okay, and let me explain what I mean by that. It's a cold night here in New Jersey. I know I have people from the Pacific Coast who are listening to this talk tonight. I have a few people who contacted me from California. They were all concerned because, oh no, this is going to be 4:30 our time. Don't worry, it's going to be recorded. No problems at all. So in my house right now, the heat is set at 66. It's about 30 degrees outside. So the inside temperature of my house starts to drop. My thermostat picks it up. And what does it do? It turns the heat on. It's reading or interpreting the environment in which it's in. And your body does the same thing. If you over-exercise and under-eat, your body's going to perceive that you're starving, and it's going to start to make changes. It's going to start to shut down your metabolism. It's interpreting the environment it's in, and it's making changes. So let's take this a step further. So here's your typical yo-yo dieting of the eat less and exercise more model. Well, we know when you don't have enough calories to sustain you, your metabolic rate will start to drop. When that happens, your brain says, I can't function like this. We're burning too many calories and we're not consuming enough to keep the systems running. So your hunger and cravings increase. And because you're on such a low calorie diet, your energy starts to decrease and you stop exercising. So in the next slide, what happens to recover from that? You begin to overeat. You're exercising less. You get a rebound weight gain. And then people repeat this cycle over and over and over again. And that's where the problems occur. That's why people say, I lose weight, but I can't keep it off. So what do we teach? We teach you to balance your metabolism. And how do you know if your metabolism is in balance? You'll know because your HEC is in check. Remember earlier I talked about hunger, energy, and cravings? Okay. Now, when your HEC is in check and your metabolism is balanced, you may start to naturally lower the amount of calories you're eating because you have decreased hunger and decreased cravings. So it helps you to get lean and stay lean. It helps to balance out your hormones and balance out your blood sugar. Now, we have something in our brain, in the hypothalamus of the brain, called the weight regulating mechanism. And there's 4 factors that affect you either gaining stored body fat or burning fat. There's a couple other things that go into it. There's some hormonal things, especially from the fat cells. We'll talk about that in later weeks. Your fat cells actually produce a hormone called leptin. And leptin tells the brain whether it's okay to burn fat or we need to store fat. And by the way, in case I don't mention it, I'll probably mention it in later weeks, but I'll mention it now. High fructose corn syrup causes leptin disruption. So that means the brain can't really tell, well, it needs to burn fat or store fat. And in a survival mode, your body will store fat. So eliminating high fructose corn syrup from your diet will help keep your weight regulating mechanism in your brain operating optimally, and you'll have a tendency to burn fat, not store it. But if you continue to eat processed foods with high fructose corn syrup in it, you're going to have that problem. So all my Gatorade drinkers out there and vitamin water drinkers and all my people that are eating like these nutrition bars that have high fructose corn syrup in them or using ketchup, it's amazing. Salad dressing has high fructose corn syrup in it. So you really got to watch what you eat. And we'll talk about that. So let's talk about the 4 things. I already mentioned one of them. Let's talk about some more. Number 1 thing that affects your weight regulating mechanism in your brain is food chemicals and food additives. Okay, those are the things that are on the labels that you can't pronounce. Exercise, movement, and rest will also affect the weight regulating mechanism. You have to have the proper amount of exercise. Okay, moving is essential. Stress will affect the weight regulating mechanism as well. Too much stress in your life. You see that woman, she's on the phone, tapping her on the shoulder, and she got all the stuff in front of her. And balancing your blood sugar. If your blood sugar is very erratic, it's up 1 minute and down the next, it's going to affect your weight regulating mechanism in your brain. So what do we do? What do we want to focus on? We want to focus on the important things and making them paramount, and the little things we'll kind of add in at the end. So obviously that's my little definition here: big rocks, little rocks, pebbles, and sand. If you want to fill this bucket, you put the big rocks in first, and then you put the little rocks in second, then you put the pebbles in because they'll kind of go between the gaps, and then finally sand will fill in the gaps as well. So we have our hierarchy that we follow here with regards to nutrition. So the first thing we have is our macronutrients. That's proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. And I'll break down the difference between different types of protein, different types of carbohydrates, and different type of fats in later weeks. I just want to let you know we will be discussing that. And these are the most important things we start any food plan with. Later weeks, we'll talk about the importance of protein, fibers, carbohydrates, and water as being a really great place to start your nutrition program, and then filling in with healthy fats. We'll talk about the difference between starchy carbohydrates and fibrous carbohydrates, and when there's appropriate times for starches and there's better times for fibrous carbohydrates. So we'll focus on those kind of things. We're going to focus on vitamins, minerals, water, and fiber. 4 very important components to your meals. Okay, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about supplementation. I will tell you, in the Western diet, because of the way crops were raised, and again, we'll talk a lot more about this in weeks 2, 3, 4 as we go through the program. I'm going to prove to you, I'm going to do a whole talk one night, how it's practically impossible to get all the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients you need out of the food you eat. Unless you're living on an organic farm in Costa Rica, maybe there's a better chance of that happening, eating free-range chicken, free-range eggs, wild-caught fish, and grass-fed beef. You know, you might have a better chance there. But if you're living in New Jersey, and most of the green or most of the fresh fruits and vegetables that you're consuming were picked way before they were ripe. Who knows what they were sprayed on them? Even if you're eating organic, you're still eating fruits and vegetables that were picked before they were ripe. And most of the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that are absorbed into the plant while it's still on the vine, not while it's in transit from Costa Rica to New Jersey. Okay. And then we're going to talk about things like free range, organic. These are all things that are very, very important. Again, I'm just touching on them briefly tonight, just to let you know these are the things we're going to be talking about in subsequent weeks. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about metabolic compensation. I touched on it a few minutes before, but this is your traditional eat less, exercise more model. Sorry, this is the guy who goes down to a 500 calorie a day diet and tries to run 5 miles a day, or lifts real heavy, goes to a spin class, or tries to compete in a CrossFit class, and their calories are way too low. Well, again, remember the thermostat in the body, which is the hypothalamus. If it perceives you're not getting enough nutrients, enough food on a daily basis, and you're overtraining, your metabolic rate will decrease. And we've seen in clinic, we've seen a 200 to 800 calorie per day metabolic compensation. In other words, your metabolic rate drops by 200 to 800 calories a day to try to match the amount of calories you're consuming at that point in time. So what do we see with that? We see your brain is unable to sustain you because of the decrease in the amount of calories you're getting. So we have increased hunger, increased cravings, and decreased energy. You stop exercising because you have no energy. We see weight regain and overcompensation. My little cat just came to visit me. You're going to help me do this, little Bradley Bates here? He's looking at the screen. He must be interested too. So what's so bad? What can happen if metabolic compensation takes it to the next level? Well, after chronic low-calorie diets and extreme exercise, weight loss plateaus and hunger and cravings increase while energy decreases, okay? So people naturally reduce calories even more. That makes their metabolic resistance even worse. So we start to get changes in brain chemistry, start significantly increasing stress hormones, moodiness, fatigue, and hormonal imbalances, and that causes decreased motivation and decreased self-confidence. Now, on a clinical level, the next step we see is metabolic damage. So This is the person who comes into me who's been on chronic diets for many, many years, and they're on Synthroid or Armour Thyroid because they have hypothyroidism. Okay, hypothyroidism is not a disease, it's a condition. And it's a condition that probably was caused by poor nutrition, over-exercising, and a whole host of other things. Typically, the thyroid is not the problem. It's usually adrenal fatigue that causes hypothyroidism, because the adrenal glands also run on sugar. And if you're on a very low calorie diet or a really strict low carbohydrate diet, you can cause adrenal fatigue. And the adrenal glands communicate with the brain, which communicates with the thyroid, which also in men it converses with the testes. Women, it's the ovaries, where a lot of these hormones are produced. Okay, so when we start to see severe metabolic damage, PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome. Again, that's from a diet that has too much sugar in their diet. Digestive issues, poor growth of hair, skin, and nails. My hair's falling out. We see autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, MS, lupus, leukopenia. We start to see muscle wasting increases and body fat increases. These are some of the skinny fat people you see. You know, they come in. I have a woman who's 5'2", 105 pounds, but she's 30% body fat because she has such severe muscle wasting. And again, we start to see the hypothyroidism and the mitochondrial diseases. So we don't want to get to that point. And again, this is medical intervention time. This is not something that we can solve overnight. But I will tell you, the cure for this is not more medication. The cure for this is proper exercise, proper rest, and proper nutrition. That will take you out of this. All the medication in the world. If you don't change anything, you could take Synthroid from now until the day you die. You're not going to relieve your hypothyroidism. You have to work out of it. Okay, this is something that is beyond the scope of what we're doing here tonight. But let me tell you, nutrition, exercise, rest, sleep, hydration, stress management, those are the cures. So what's the solution? Well, this is what we propose to you tonight. We have our 28-day ID Transformation Get Lean in 2016 online coaching program. So what are we going to do with this over the next 28 days? I'm going to give you a brief overview. We're going to do 3 meals a day. One of your meals is going to be a protein shake, and then we're going to teach you how to design 2 whole food meals. Now, some of the people out there are exercising already. And again, what are we focusing on? We're focusing on the proper balance of nutrients, food, and exercise. This may not be enough food for someone who's training out there. So what can we do? Well, obviously we can increase the amount of calories per meal. We can increase certain things within the meals. And we're going to get into starting a meal off with protein, fibrous carbohydrate, and water. What kind of fats we're going to add in. When is it time to take the fat out and add more carbohydrate in? When do we take the carbohydrate out, add more fat in? Or when do we add more fat and more carbohydrate into the meal? There's a game plan. That's going to take me about an hour to go through as we go on week to week. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about that tonight. I just want you to let you know there's a system in place that allows us to do this. Some people say, Mike, what about snacks? We can build snacks into your program, but what are we focusing on? We're focusing on hunger, energy, and cravings, and weight loss. So I have a whole breakdown scenario of what do you do if, for example, there's 5 scenarios. I'll just tell you the first one. What if your heck is in check, your hunger's good, your energy's good, your cravings are low, and you're losing weight? What do? You don't change anything. You just keep doing what you're doing. But Mike, I'm only losing a pound a week. Okay, but you're moving in the right direction. Okay, I'd rather you lose a pound a week and have good hunger, good energy, and good cravings than to lose 5 pounds in a week and you're just climbing the walls because you're starving all the time. You have high cravings and you're not sleeping. Okay, it's all about keeping everything in balance. And we're going to help you get through that. Again, that's a little further into the program. With regard to protein shake design, well, why is protein so important? Well, it helps to build muscle, your immune system, especially now we're getting into the quote unquote cold and flu season. We want to make sure we have a robust immune system. We want to make sure our hormones are balanced and our enzymes, collagen, and red blood cells. Red blood cells is the oxygen carrying capacity of your blood. Okay. So protein can be broken down to glucose if needed, which is important because we got to continue to keep your brain. Whoops, got too far ahead of myself. Because we got to keep the brain and nervous system operating optimally, and it needs glucose on a second-by-second basis, just like it requires oxygen on a second-by-second basis. My phone's ringing, but I'm not answering it. Fiber aids in digestion and being satiated, along with protein. The shakes that we're going to use in this program use micromilled chia seed. It increases fiber and healthy fats. Very, very important. The abundance of I'll talk more about this in later weeks, but it's really important that we have a high level of omega-3s to omega-6s. There's only so much room for the cells to absorb fats, and if it absorbs too much omega-6, it actually blocks the absorption of omega-3s. So it's really, really important that we don't have fats in our diet, like vegetable oils, a perfect example, like Wesson or Crisco type vegetable oils are very high in omega-6s and omega-9s, and they'll block your body's ability to utilize omega-3s. So it's very, very important that we keep the fat, the proper type of fat. And our whey protein shake is lactose and casein free, sweetened with stevia, only 7 ingredients, no artificial sweeteners or fillers, and everyone loves them. So that's even better reason. Okay, whole food meal design. We're going to talk about lean sources of protein, grass-fed beef, wild-caught fish, free-range chicken, lamb, turkey, those kind of lean protein sources. We're going to talk about the difference between fibrous carbohydrates and starchy carbohydrates. Okay, fibrous carbohydrates help to fill you up. They're loaded with vitamins, minerals, and water and fiber, which is pretty self-evident there in fibrous carbohydrate. Healthy fats, things like avocado, olive oil, coconut oil, very, very important to have these as a component in your meals. And starchy carbohydrates, they're really important. And with a lot of my clients who have trouble sleeping, I have them have a starch at nighttime because it helps to feed the brain and nervous system, and it facilitates restful sleep. Your strength training should be popping up right now. Here you go. Is we're going to focus on 2 strength training routines per week and 1 hour of walking a day. Okay, and people say that's not enough exercise for me. Okay, we're going to give you those strength training programs. They're going to come by email. They're going to be a video link to the workouts, and you're also going to get a PDF along with them as well. Some people are going to do 3 strength training workouts a week. That's fine as long as what? Your HEC is in check and you're losing weight, right? Those are the things that are very, very important components of our program. And I'll get into a lot more detail on what we're going to do with regards to strength training. So why is strength training so important? Just from a little bit on the science end here, performing exercise to what we call temporary muscle failure causes the production of lactic acid. Lactic acid is the key that unlocks the door to all the healing compounds, such as testosterone, human growth hormone, and other tissue repair hormones. And it's very, very vital. The explanation I give on this is if you put water and coal in a locomotive and you heat the water to 200 degrees, you don't get any steam. If you don't get any steam, you don't have anything to drive the piston because the piston is driven by steam, right? Steam locomotive. So if you don't take that muscle up to the point where you get lactic acid production, you're really not getting a maximum benefit of the exercise. And that's the problem with a lot of people going out for a jog. They jog, but they never get to a point of temporary muscle failure. And all they do is build up more and more and more stress hormone, kind of like the locomotive. All you got is hot water. And we don't want to put you in hot water. So for those people who are going to scream at me later and say, oh, if I don't run, I'm going to jump off a building. Well, then please go run. Okay. But I will tell you, I've been doing this for 32 years in the health and wellness field. If I own a clinic here in Manasquan, New Jersey. If I told people to go out and jog, half the people that I talked to would never come back because most people don't like to jog. But you know what they do like to do? They like to work to temporary muscle failure. And I can take a 16-year-old or an 86-year-old and I can bring them to that temporary muscle failure. 16-year-old is going to take a whole lot more work and a lot more strenuous exercise to get them there, but the 86-year-old is going to benefit from the release of those healing compounds in the body, just like the 16-year-old. Okay, one of the things that we talk about, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, just so you know that protecting the mitochondria of your cells is optimal for health and wellness. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, and it's where you convert fat and oxygen. Okay, we have a product we're going to talk a little bit about later weeks called post-recovery drink. Okay, and why is that so important, the post-recovery drink? Okay, the reason it's so important is that your blood sugar is going to start to drop, and sugar is required to burn fat and oxygen. We used to say in the field of physiology, fat is burned in a carbohydrate flame. Okay, so you need carbohydrate like you need a match to light the fuse to blow up the dynamite. So the dynamite could be the fat and the oxygen, but without that match to light the fuse, it doesn't work. So the post-recovery drink provides branched-chain amino acids. Branched-chain amino acids break down into sugar so that your body doesn't sacrifice valuable body proteins, because it will break down valuable body proteins if it needs to. But the branched-chain amino acids in the post-recovery drink, they kind of jump to the front of the line. They'll say, we'll break down first, which is good because it's something that you ingested, something you took in. You're not breaking your parts of your body down. It also helps to keep the mitochondria functioning optimally, and it helps to lower the stress load in the body. So people say, wow, I drank this and I actually feel like I can work out better the next day. I'm not sore. It also has creatine in it, which helps to pump more water and more sugar into the muscle cells. And it also has something called chelates in it, which actually accentuates the effect of the creatine. So creatine is a good thing to have. Also in the first 4 weeks, what are we going to focus on? We're going to focus on restorative activities. You know, we're making a lot of changes here. So it's important that we know how to rest. You know, I'm a big advocate of massage. Intimacy is just spending time with your loved ones, time with pets like my cat. My cat ran out. Laughter and reading. So why do we walk every day? Why is that hour of walking so critical to your program? It helps to balance the stress hormones of cortisol, adrenal hormones, reduces the incidence of adrenal fatigue, helps to balance insulin and blood sugar levels, and is genetically instinctual as opposed to jogging, which for most people increases cortisol, causes blood sugar instability, and increases adrenal stress hormones. So walking is a big part of our program. So here's my wonderful testimonial from my friend Debbie. She's awesome. Okay, let me just read a little bit of her testimonial. She's obviously been with us for a while, and she utilizes our program. This was the one she did a few years ago for us, but it rings just as true today. I just put away my 12s, my 10s, and most of my 8s thanks to KM Fitness. For the past 2 years, I've been working hard to try to lose the 30 pounds I put on since my 43rd birthday in April. I lost most of it, but was stuck with more to lose and really fit in my clothes and feel comfortable. Since working with KM Fitness, I've dropped 7 pounds since April, but more importantly, I went from 25% body fat down to 20.3% body fat, and I'm the fittest I've been in 16 years. The best part is the nutrition plan feels like a new way of living for me, definitely not a diet. I feel like I can continue on without a problem. I've established the habits I need to maintain this weight and keep improving. I don't feel hungry all the time, and when I am hungry, I eat lots of good food that is fueling my workouts and keep my energy up. My hunger, energy, and cravings, my heck are in check. So this is the program we're laying out for you. No different than what Debbie did, okay? Now, with regards to the products we're going to use in this program, please go to the person who invited you here tonight to purchase your products for the 28-day ID transformation. After you purchase your products from them, they in turn will email me your email address, and we will send you the links for the first 4 weeks of the webinar, the daily emails, the meal plans, the exercise videos, everything, okay? But I have a lot of people on the line tonight that were invited by someone else. So I want you to go back to them to get your products. Now, obviously, if I invited you, if you're one of my invitees, I'll show you how you're going to go ahead and purchase your products for the next 28-day program. Okay, so what are some of the things we're going to get in this program? Well, Jen Widerstrom, who will be on TV on the East Coast in less than an hour, wrote our 28-day ID transformation. She is one of the head trainers on a show called The Biggest Loser. And she's absolutely fantastic. And she put together a booklet that you can see in the next picture right here that tells you what you need to do from the time you go to bed at night to the time, to the time you wake up in the morning to the time you go to bed at nighttime. Okay, so it's all laid out there for you. You don't even have to think. You just have to be able to read and follow. And most of them are pictures. So even people like me who can't read, can do this. Okay, and there's a lot of tools that we're going to be able to provide you that are going to help facilitate this program. So the 28-day transformation starts here. Now we're going to be focusing on weight loss. I do have a few people in here who really aren't looking to lose weight. They're just trying to improve their level of fitness. Or I have some people saying, you know what, this is the year I do my Tough Mudder. This is the year I do, one of those endurance style races, triathlons. That's fine. That's why the coaching is so important in this, because the way I coach someone who needs to lose 40 pounds is a whole lot different than the person who's, coming to me and their percent body fat is on point. They've been exercising aggressively and they want to take their level of performance to a different level. So that's where the coaching comes in. So we have a base kit, and again, we're charging $199 for the products and for the coaching and the emails and the webinars and the private Facebook page, all the things I'll talk about at the end. Okay. If you were to go onto the website and order these products, the retail value of them is $189. So we're giving you a really good deal since we're including all the coaching and everything like that. Okay, so that's more for people who are doing the weight loss challenge. The company has stepped up and it really improved this whole thing. They're willing to take that and add to it. And what they want to add to it for you in your weight loss challenge is a product called Sleep. Sleep has 3 key ingredients in it. One is called L-theanine, one is 5-HTP. They help to lower cortisol levels. The reason most people have trouble falling asleep is because they have high stress levels. So if we can lower your stress and lower your cortisol level, your body will naturally produce more melatonin and you'll fall asleep and you'll stay asleep. It's funny, I've had people start using this product. They said, Mike, I'm dreaming for the first time in a long time. I don't remember my dreams. And now they're saying, I have very vivid dreams. Guess what? You're in rapid eye movement or REM type sleep, which is very restorative. Okay, it's good that you're remembering your dreams. Okay, we have another product in here called Hydrate. Hydrate is a great product. You can drink it anytime. You can drink it while you're exercising. Keeping the body hydrated helps all the systems to run a whole lot better. Okay, and then we have these things called Appetite Control Chews. They're chocolate. They're delicious. I usually pop one in the afternoon because I'm at work. I don't have a lot of time to get something to eat. I'm getting a little hungry. Or when I use them really is I use them at nighttime because I don't want to eat after dinner. Now they have something in there called Avantra Z. Avantra Z is a citrus extract that helps. Basically what it does is it breaks down fat to be burned for energy. So that's how it decreases your hunger. It's a great deal. Now we're offering the program for $199. The company is going to one-up us. If you want to add the base kit plus the weight loss kit that goes with it, they're going to come at you with $251.98. Again, go back to the person who invited you, and they'll show you how you can access their website to get that. I will tell you, they're adding in the Hydrate, the 3 Appetite Chews, and the Sleep at a price lower than myself as an associate can get it. And you can go look on the website, and when you go to order it, you'll see, oh, it says retail 61 and change, but the wholesale price is more expensive than that. Yes, the company is doing this for customers in order to help you to get the products you need to have success. So the base kit plus the ID Transformation Weight Loss Kit, $251.98, plus all the coaching, plus all the emails, plus all the webinars, plus all the things you need to help you be successful. I mean, this is a great, great deal. Again, you're going to have a chance to look this over. You could stop it here. You can look at all the different people and all the different success stories. And I'm looking at this page, and I know practically all of them. And they really look great now. The fella in the middle, that's Randy. I played golf with him down in Punta Cana about a month ago. Great guy. I mean, he looks fantastic. Jen here in the middle, I met her down in Punta Cana, she and her husband. Great people. Okay. This is me. Okay, this is what happens when you do an ID transformation. This was a jacket that was once tight on me here on the right. Obviously not real tight anymore. And you can actually even see it in my face how much weight I lost. And this is from one of my previous ID transformations. Now, you know, you can also win money doing this too. If you submit your story, and you don't have to be an associate, you can be anybody, can submit the story. You can go to ID Life and submit your story to mystory@idlife.com, and you have a chance to win $500. I think that's a pretty cool deal. Oh, there's Jen Winderstrom again. Okay, if I invited you here and you are interested in the base kit plus the weight loss kit, you're going to go to mikekeenan520.idlife.com, and you'll see this page when you open it up, and you'll just click on the Buy Now button, and you can have your choice of chocolate shake, vanilla shake. The energy comes in 2 flavors, orange and berry, and the lean is just lean. Okay, maybe I should spend a minute talking about those products real quick. Let me go back. Sorry, I don't mean to jump back on you, but I skipped over the base kit. I want to make sure everyone understands what's okay. Here we are. We're back to base kit. Okay, the shake. I already talked about the shake, how it has the whey protein, no casein, no lactose, only 7 ingredients. The lean is another form of branched chain amino acids that will help you to the branched chain amino acids break down so that it helps to decrease your hunger and it keeps your metabolism running at a high level. Energy has 2 energy components in it. It has caffeine, but it also has the Avantra Z. And the Avantra Z I mentioned earlier is the citrus extract that helps to mobilize fat to be burned for energy. So these 3 products in and of themselves is a great place to start. What the company also did was they said, okay, those 3 base products are great, but if you really want to have more success, you really want to stay hydrated, you want to work on your sleep, you want to control your appetite, we're going to add in the ID Transformation Weight Loss Kit at a significantly discounted price. All right, let me skip back to where I was. Okay, again, go back to the person who invited you here tonight, but we also are offering a free assessment. You can go, that's Troy Aikman right there in the picture holding up a box of one of our products called ID Nutrition. And we'll talk more about that in subsequent weeks. But, you know, the person who invited you here or me, you can go ahead and take your free nutrition assessment. It goes into things like what part of the country do you live in? You know, what season is it? What's your sleep like? What's your digestion like? What foods do you like to eat? What foods don't you like to eat? It goes into, you know, your medical history. What illnesses are you suffering from? What medication you're on? And it's going to break down. It's going to give you a free report. My suggestion is to read through that report, or better yet, read through it with the person who invited you in here tonight. And they're going to be able to explain that report and how vitamins, minerals, and supplementation would help you go a long way to helping to recover your health. I have people who started on ID Nutrition and they're coming off their medication. In certain weeks, I will share those testimonials with you. Or if you want to go into Keenan Fitness on Facebook, you can see a lot of the testimonials. But I have a very good friend from college who was on a ton of medication, and she's off all of it now. And it's because she started taking ID Nutrition. I'm watching the clock, guys. I know I said it'd be 30 minutes, but I like to talk. So just as a reminder, it takes 4 weeks for you to see your body change, 8 weeks for your friends and family, and 12 weeks for the rest of the world. So just keep going. So I'm going to drop down to this page here just to remind everyone what they'll be getting. Again, I'll remind everybody, okay, if someone invited you here to be part of this call, okay, go back to their website to get your products, okay? Once you get your products, they're going to email me and they're going to say, Jim Smith bought his base kit and now he's entitled to the coaching program. I'll get that email. I'll shoot you the email with all the links and we get the process started. If you're coming through me, you can click. I'll bring that up in a minute. How easy it is for you to buy right online tonight. But let me just tell you what you're going to get. You're going to get the ID Life Base Kit, 28 servings of protein shakes, lean supplement, and energy, as I just described. 4 weeks of the webinar coaching, which will cover nutrition, lifestyle, specific exercise protocols. You're going to get the daily educational emails. We have our private Facebook pages for daily questions. We're going to do a live 30-minute one-on-one nutrition consultation. We're going to do weekly scheduled recipes and workouts explaining everything that you're going to do for that week. You're going to get exercise PDFs and video instruction, and you're going to get the nutrition and exercise guide designed by Jen Wiederstrom. Okay, let's go down to the bottom slide. Okay, and again, I just want to thank my partner in this, Dr. Tony Garrow of Garrow Family Chiropractic. In case someone wants to do this and they weren't on tonight, we're going to be doing this again on Sunday night. And I'll send plenty of information out with regards to that. Let me get out of this. Okay. Glad to be here. A little blurry. Okay. I know. It's sometimes that happens. Okay. So let me put my offers up here so everyone can see. Whoops. Hold on one second. Okay, this is what I'm seeing. I'm going to wait for Susan to pop back in the room so she can tell me if everyone can see what I'm seeing. Okay, so, oh, here it goes. There we go. Now we got it. Okay, so if you're here tonight and you want to get your Get Lean in 2016 base kit, you're going to get it from me. You can certainly go right here and click add to cart, and then it'll take you into a PayPal. Okay. If you want the base kit plus the other things, the appetite control chews, the hydrate, and the sleep, you're going to go to mikekeenan520.idlife.com and you can buy it directly off that. And I'll see that you purchase that off of my replicated website, and then I'll start the process with that, with getting your 4 weeks of the coaching program started. I'm going to go back to the chat room real quick and take a look. And if anybody has any questions, this would be a great time to just go to your chat box and you can let me know if you have any questions or concerns at this point. And I'll just keep talking while people are sending me little chats. So welcome up there. Okay. Susan just reminded me to let you know that we're starting the program January 11th. This is just a preview we're doing tonight so that people can go ahead and order their products ahead of time. So they'll have them when we start up for next week. If you're a local, okay, Lynn, I'll answer that question in a second. If you're local and you just want to pop into my office in Manasquan, I do have all the products there. You know, you can just get them right there. You don't have to order them online. But I don't have a lot of them. I have about 4 sets. All right. how do I find the recorded version of the webinar? It's going to get sent to you as long as you're registered here tonight. You're going to get a recording of tonight's webinar sent to your inbox. Okay. Okay, the next webinar is going to be on Sunday. We canceled the Wednesday because nobody signed up for it. So we just moved it to Sunday. So we have more time to advertise. Thanks, Lynn, for the question. It's a great question. Thanks, Tony. I'm really excited to get everyone started on 111 as well. I'm just going to hold out a little bit longer. It's about 8:15. I said this would only last a half hour, but I like to talk. So obviously, we went a little longer, but it's really important. You know, a lot of people have tried to do this without utilizing the protein, the shake, and the lean. Okay, thanks, Lynn. I appreciate that. And their results have been fair. You really need to. One of the things Susan and I are going to talk to you about, we'll probably send out a video that we made on something called the sputter effect. And while I'm waiting for more questions to come in and so forth, I just want to make sure everybody can see that. I just threw the offer back up. If anyone wants to add it to their cart, they can do it now. Sputter effect was what happens when your body is used to burning sugar and we start decreasing the amount of starch in your diet and forces your body to start to burn fat as a primary fuel source. For about 24 to 48 hours, you start to have a little bit of fatigue. You might have a change in your mood. You might be a little more hungry than normal. Okay, that's called the sputter effect, and we can help you get through that. The way we help you get through that is I mentioned a product earlier called the post-recovery drink that has branched-chain amino acids in it. If you drink the post-recovery drink during that first 24 to 48 hours after changing your diet, you're going to find the sputter effect has very little effect on you. As a matter of fact, your hunger, your energy, and cravings will be maintained through that process. Why? Because you're adding branched-chain amino acids to your diet, and your body is breaking down those branched-chain amino acids, converting them to sugar, and keeping your brain and nervous system satisfied. So that's really a critical part of this whole program, is making sure that we get through that sputter effect with the least amount of problems. And the products we have in place for you are going to help you to achieve that. But that was a question that's come up many times in the past. Okay, I don't see any more questions here. So again, this recorded session we did tonight is going to be sent out to everybody, so everyone's going to get a chance to watch it again. Also, we're going to you're going to be able to shoot me an email if you have any questions. When people get into the program, I will have the private Facebook page made available to them. We don't just give it out because otherwise there'd be 1,000 people in it, and it's really for people who wanted to take part in the program. So that's why we set it up. So the coaching is one time and available for the customers, even though they signed up under me. Yes. Okay. The coaching. All right. Let me explain that so we make that very clear. The coaching is going to be the next 4 Monday nights. I'm going to coach you on things, the importance of sleep, hydration, nutrition, stress management, and exercise. And I'm going to give you the tools that you need to work on your nutrition and your exercise. You're going to get recorded videos on how to do the exercises properly, and you're going to get PDFs that go along with it. So that's my online coaching programs. The next 4 Monday nights from 7:30 to 8 o'clock, I'm going to do a coaching call, and I will take time for questions and answers. And what I usually do, Lynn, is I jump into Facebook, because if you have a question, there might be 10 other people that have the same question. So it's important that I get it out there, and on Facebook, it stays out there forever. So you don't have to worry about, people actually scroll through that Facebook page looking at the questions that were asked from the night before. And if they don't see that question answered, they just shoot me a message, say, hey, Mike, I know you were talking last night about the importance of branched chain amino acids. can you go over that again? And of course I would do that. And I start every week's coaching call kind of saying, boy, I got a lot of questions on that last week. Let me readdress that so everyone knows. So there's no one-on-one coaching. The only people who get one-on-one coaching are the people that are coming to me in my studio. So that's not. I obviously, I have about 100 different ID Life associates on the line, and I can't give them and all their clients a 30-minute nutrition consultation. We'd never be able to do it. It's going to be a webinar. It's going to be just like it is tonight. You're going to see pictures, you're going to hear my voice, and you're going to have the opportunity to come into the chat room like you're doing right now and ask me any questions you have. These are really great questions, and I really appreciate your feedback, and Tony too. All right, so again, everyone who's online or anyone who signed up for the webinar tonight is going to get a replay of this, because I know there's people who couldn't be here tonight. I understand that, especially the West Coast people. They're probably just getting out of work now, which is fine. So I want to thank you all for coming on tonight. I'm excited too. And we're gonna rock and roll this over the next 4 weeks. You're gonna see some people making lifestyle changes and life-changing decisions that are going to help them to reconcile type 2 diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, finally lose that weight that they were looking to get rid of, and really make some dramatic changes. So I want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. Look for your replay later tonight or tomorrow. And every week will be recorded. Yes, every week is recorded. I want to make sure that the people on the West Coast are getting everything. And, I'll make myself available in Facebook. Obviously they could leave a message in our private Facebook page, and I will answer that as soon as I get a break between clients or I have some time. And yeah, it's all good. There's for what we're charging, $199. I could charge $199 just for the coaching calls without the products. So you're getting some phenomenal products involved in this program. And like I said, corporate really stepped up for us on this one. They said, okay, the base kit's great, but we're going to add in the sleep, we're going to add in the hydrate, and we're going to add in the appetite chews. And we're going to add them in, listen to me, at a cost lower than the associates can get them. Okay, that's probably unprecedented. They probably never did that before. So they're really doing a great job for our customers and our actually it's even cheaper than the preferred price. Isn't that crazy? So yeah, so I'm really excited. I'm really excited because I got another call I got to get on at 9 o'clock tonight. I'm very excited to see Jen Widerstrom on TV. I'm gonna have to tape her because I'm gonna miss the first half hour of her show. But that's all I got, guys. Take care. Have a great night, and we'll see everybody next Monday night at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Have a good night. Bye-bye.